Hey, this is Meredith's husband. I've got some SEO advice for you, but I'm going to keep it really simple so that you can understand it, so it makes sense, and most importantly, so you can actually use it. So there's this really interesting phenomenon that I've seen over the course of my 2 decades in working in websites and SEO.
More people asking for the universe to help them?
How did you come up with that?
I don't know. That just seems to be, over the past 20 years, people have been like, just let the universe take care.
Holy shit. That's one of the things I'm going to talk about today.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No way.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
yes,
not.
Yes, it is. It's right in front of my face on my notes.
No, show it to me.
I will.
Okay.
When I get home. It's right here.
Don't believe it.
Intro, phenomenon, universe.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, anyway, hey, let's get back to the episode. So this interesting phenomenon is whenever you start, or I don't want to say whenever, I feel like it's happened hundreds of times, probably not hundreds, it's probably dozens of times, but it feels like perhaps more than half the time when you start a new project, there's stuff you do in the very beginning, and then the client comes back like within a month or a few weeks and says, we can see a change. It's already working. And sure enough, I go and I look at the metrics and there's an increase in whatever, the traffic, conversions. It usually means they're getting more leads or they're making more sales. And I can verify that by looking at the data. Yeah. The problem is I know for a fact that what we have done did not result in that increase.
Oh.
There is absolutely no way. So it's just a fluke that the timing seems to coincide with. We start some activity, some good results happen. But there is no cause and effect.
Really?
I guarantee you. Now, I used to like not take credit, but when people would say that, I'd be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm glad it's working. But nowadays I say, there's nothing we've done that is causing that yet.
That's nice.
That's a fluke.
Honesty.
Because what happens is when there is that fluke and there is a spike, there's an increase in the leads, then it's going to come down. It's not the new norm.
Right.
So then what happens if I take credit for it? Then I also have to take credit for the fact that it falls off. So I'm I try to be very honest just in all cases anyway.
You do.
But it's much better to manage expectations than it is to try to
I agree.
take credit for a win when you have it. Anyway, so here we go.
Yes, my husband.
One person has described this to me is, it's the universe. It's you just do something, you put something out there in the universe and it comes back to you. Mm-hmm. And literally, that is in my notes.
I can't. You've never talked about this.
No, why would I? Because I don't like that saying.
I agree. I feel like of all the things that the universe has to deal with, me getting this client, not important. Really not on the list.
Well, I think about it a little differently.
Of course.
The way I think about it makes sense.
What?
I'm not opposed to the concept of that sort of thing, but it's that phrasing, because that phrasing, to me, it seems like a lot of pressure.
To the universe?
No, to me, because what exactly is it to put something into the universe? Is it thinking about something? I think it is. If you think about something, you have essentially put it into the universe.
Well, I think once there is such a thing called accountability. Once I remember in college, I would say to a friend, I'd like to travel to so-and-so. And they're like, you should do it. And I said, I'm going to. And then I actually do it.
That's actually a somewhat applicable story.
Hey,
I was ready to go completely off the rails.
And doesn't it make sense?
But back to my point about putting things out there, just putting thoughts out there. If you start to go down that path, then it's like, I don't think you're really so much in control of your own thoughts. I mean, a thought arises and you're, experiencing that thought. It already exists in the universe. Your mind is in the universe. So to think about, I'm thinking something or I'm putting it it's already in the universe. If it's occurring to you, it's already there.
Exactly. So that's very well thought out.
I don't think about it in those terms, but what I do think about, and this goes back to my college, maybe even high school physics courses, Newton's first law of motion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Newton's first law of motion.
Do you want to remind all of us?
No, you know what? I'm gonna gift you.
All right.
I'm gonna put it out to the universe that you
first law of motion says that an object at rest tends to stay at rest, unless it's acted upon by an outside force. And an object in motion tends to stay in motion unless it's acted upon by an outside force.
Okay.
So the way I think about that in terms of, or in place of putting things into the universe, is you start to do something, you put your website marketing in motion. It has momentum.
Yeah.
So to me, that is kind of like, yes, we are starting some marketing work on our website. And then lo and behold, they start getting more leads. But it wasn't that our marketing work yet created those leads. It's the object in motion tends to stay in motion. That's how I look at it. That's how I make sense of this. Because I have no better explanation for this phenomenon. Makes no sense to me. So what I thought is I would give you a few things that you can do that would be relatively easy to do.
Yes.
And hopefully have some impact, but just to get you in motion. If you're in any sort of stuck space or you're not sure what to do, if you want to create some of that momentum.
Motion is medicine.
Do a little experiment, see if Sir Isaac Newton's first law of motion applies to website marketing. I thought that was funny. Not funny. Okay. Guess what?
What?
We have a sponsor.
We do?
Guess who it is? You'll never guess. It's Hungry Root.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
You asked them?
Yes.
Like I said you should?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am. They gave me a discount code that I can pass on. Yes. So Hungry Root, if you haven't heard us talk about Hungry Root in the other episode,
so exciting.
It's kind of like Blue Apron, but we use it for one reason, because it has tons of options for vegans, vegetarians, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
And as you said, it has really changed our lives.
It actually has.
It really has. Like, I don't want to oversell it, but it has literally changed. It's amazing. The discount they said I could give out is $50 off your first order of $100. So if you want to try it for a week, order $100 of food and get 50 off. So you get $100 worth of food for $50.
Half off.
Yeah.
That's literally half off.
Yeah, that's half off.
That's so cool.
Things you can do. Number one.
Yes.
Your Google business profile.
Yes.
These things I've talked about before here on the podcast. I talk about them in workshops. Just spend up to an hour on any of these. Doesn't need to be an hour. It could take less. Just work to do something to improve your Google business profile. Your Google business profile, I can tell by the look on your face, you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I do. It's the thing that has the reviews.
Yes. It is the knowledge panel. It is the right hand half of the page of Google. If you do a search for your business name, you should hopefully see some stuff over there. Yes. My advice, and when I say improve that, because that's pretty vague advice.
I was going to
just try to think of that like a little mini website of its own. On that right-hand side, that's a little mini site that you can control. You can make sure all your business hours and address and phone number are listed. Make sure your products and your services are listed. Make
and
sure
updated.
And if they need to be updated. Yeah, don't put old stuff on there. Add images. Just think of it like you would think of a website. You want to make it look good.
Right.
Okay, that's one thing.
Kind of dust it off.
Yeah, dust off your resume, essentially, kind of. Just put it into the universe.
I think
that's one thing you can do that is it's good for SEO. It's good. It's really good to do that and try to improve this. Also, it's not a difficult way to just, I'm going to spend a half an hour just
devoting it to.
Just use common sense. What looks better?
Yeah.
Something else you can do.
Yes.
Same thing with your CTA, your call to action, your buttons, whatever you have on your website.
Yes.
Test out some variants. So if on your call to action button, say you have, book now, try schedule a call, or try let's chat, or try whatever you feel is appropriate. Yeah, test it out a little bit. And make sure it's consistent. Don't do it just on one button.
Okay.
Make sure those buttons are consistent. So but try it out. Professional marketers do this all the time. There are people whose entire profession is optimizing your call to action and doing things like this, running little tests. So this is not an insignificant thing.
Right.
And again, pretty easy to do.
Yeah, I think
pressure. So. Number 3.
Yes.
Blogging. If you're stuck with blogging or you haven't blogged or you want to, your blogging needs like a little kick in the ass, like maybe mine does sometimes. Yeah. What I find is a good way to get that initial momentum. Go back and look at an old blog. Pick an old blog that's preferably doing well, and same thing, improve it, just make it better, expand on it, look at it as a user, and just look at it and say, what would make this more helpful to me if I were reading this? It could be something like adding business hours for a restaurant you recommended, or giving an address of a park you talk about, or anything. Just try to make it more helpful.
It's a joke.
The best way, if you want to get the most bang for your buck out of this approach, go to Google Search Console and look to see what blogs are already doing well, and pick one of those. Pick a blog that is getting more impressions than the others.
Here's an impression.
Yeah. That means Google likes it, and if you make it better, Google's going to like it a little bit more. You're going to get more distance out of that than if you try to redo a blog that Google doesn't like, that is not getting any impressions.
No,
okay, so those are 3 things I think are all pretty easy.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes, I agree.
And I would say these are not things that are going to take a week.
No.
Don't spend more than an hour on any of these. Spend up to an hour.
Not.
But you could also spend 20, 30 minutes.
Sure you can.
Do one of those. And just see what happens over the next month. See if Sir Isaac Newton was right.
Wonderful desserts.
And if you want more guidance or suggestions on deeper suggestions on these or any others, follow the link below and you can ask a question.
Ooh.
You can submit a question. You'll need to create an account. It's not just public on the web, but it's free.
Excellent.
I never know what you're talking about. Like, if I'm talking and you're whispering under my voice, I'm always like, what the fuck is she saying? I hope she's not telling people to do something stupid.
I would never say anything stupid.
I get to check it out when I edit these episodes. And I put my track on mute. And Meredith is usually talking about ice cream.
That's exactly what I'm thinking about right now with ice cream. I just made a faux ice cream with vegan yogurt and strawberry jam.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Is there any left? Can you leave it out for me?
That was my healthy substitution for Van Leeuwen strawberry shortcake vegan.
Okay.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you find this helpful and useful. And if you do, what you could do for us as a thanks would be to, drumroll please, leave a review. Yes, everybody says it, I know, but it really does make a difference. Take 3 seconds, leave as many stars, say something really nice about what you like about the podcast and maybe why other people would like it. It would mean the world to us, especially my husband. That better? All right, I'm going to try one where I'm not going to be charming.